Okay, everybody, it's Oldskulenerd. I'm back. This is not the first reaction to Chad the Bird I've had, but this is probably going to be the most important to me. Why? Because I'm an old school nerd. I'm a 51-year-old dad that played video games. And, well, let me put it like this. I still have, to this day, on my shelf, right behind me, this. This is the one that my mom got me in 1986. I still have it. You know what the first game I ever had with it? I know what you're thinking. Duck Hunt and Super Mario Brothers came with it, but I never played those games. Could not stand the Mario Brothers. My first game was a gold cartridge of The Legend of Zelda. And I played that game over and over and over again. I played it so many times that I was determined to play it all the way through without dying, which I finally did. Had it on record until the battery died and wiped the cassette. Pissed me off. But at the same time, I thought everything about Legend of Zelda I loved, I didn't have to worry about on Mario. Why? Because Mario had that stupid jumping platform crap. Legend of Zelda didn't have that. Until Legend of Zelda 2 came out. Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link, which had an overarching larger world that he walked around on a map screen, which I thought was awesome. Because it kind of looked like Final Fantasy and Dragon Warrior until I went into combat the first time and realized that it was platform style like Mario. Pissed me off and ruined my childhood. Anyway, let's just say that I'm a huge fan of The Legend of Zelda. Huge. Even now. I still play a Legend of Zelda emulator whenever I'm highly stressed. So, if anyone's going to understand and appreciate what Chad's about to drop to us in the school of Chad the Bird and Sarah, it's going to be this one. I can see now that Chad is wearing his Link outfit. Holy shit. Here we go. Chad the Bird, schooled class with Sarah and Chad. This one is The Legend of Zelda. Let's go.
Professor Chad the Bird!
Human. I get to be here. Life isn't just a game, it's an adventure. And it's dangerous to go alone.
Take this
little piece of advice from the birds and cram it in your satchel. Save your progress. It's easy to do. You don't need much space. You can keep it simple. Chalk mark on a wall. That's a gold standard. It works for prison and deserted island scenarios. You can keep photos of yourself in an album, but that's a little aggressive for me. It makes me feel like I'm looking at the opening credits from a true crime series about myself. I start coming up with theories on what the final episode's going to reveal. You could start on Instagram. Smash that like and subscribe, by the way. I'm not doing this for fun. Or you could do this like the magpie and pick up a shiny rock or something to remember the moment. That is a tried and true method. Granted, though, if you die, it's not like a true save point. You're not coming back to the rock to start over. I want to make it very clear.
Is he about to do the whole thing with how you save progress on Legend of Zelda? And then when the battery dies in the cartridge, you're screwed? And the battery to replace on the cartridge was really only available in Japan? Nintendo did that so kids would have to buy a new Legend of Zelda game. Did you know that? Bet you Chad does. Let's find out.
That's not a thing you can do just yet. I don't care what Elon Musk thinks he's going to convince you to put in your brain or download to Grok or whatever the fuck the end game there is. I was being metaphorical.
Or is he talking about the fact that all the other games on the NES did not have an autosave feature like Legend of Zelda? The rest of them were similar to, Metroid, which all of your progress was based upon a long keyed password that you had to write down. See, that's the thing. The Legend of Zelda was the first one to auto-save your progress on the cassette itself, and you didn't have to copy down a code. However, the battery wouldn't last forever. And Zelda knew that. So when Nintendo went to the next one, like Metroid and other ones like that, they started using codes. What if they learned their lesson? And then when they went on to the other ones, there were save cards. But I digress.
Because humans can't remember math for shit, and the shape of the earth, according to TikTok, is too much to get a grip on, apparently, humanity. But your brain is always ready to bear hug a whimsical anecdote. Whatever you gotta do, thank you. Whatever you gotta do To save your collective progress, leave behind a thing or two for the future. You should, because nature's default method is DNA strands and a lot of bones. And that doesn't really define the experience. It's a stick without the popsicle. That's not a summertime flavor, that's a stick. And you deserve more of an interesting story, because the next generation will need to learn from you, because you're gonna fuck it up. And they'll need to remember the lesson so they can go forth to fuck it up in new and more interesting ways. And then they'll pass that lesson down that they learned so the kids don't do the same dumb shit they did, so they can fuck it up in even more interesting ways, because life is dangerous to go alone. So, take this advice from the birds and save your narrative, because that will become a story, which will become a tale, which will become a legend. My tale begins long ago, in a land forgotten by time, in a place that exists now only in memory and song, 1985. It was a turbulent time, a dangerous world, a land of power suits and Ray-Bans and denim acid washed so hard you could do surgery with it, and polos with collars so fucking horny they popped at a 90-degree angle from morning till night. It was a barbaric time. Only the strongest survived and had multi-disc CD players. In Japan at the time, the 80s, the before times that is known, Shigeru Miyamoto and Takashi Tezuka were waiting on the numbers from the latest game they had created for the Nintendo Famicom family computer in Japan. The Nintendo Entertainment System, the Gray Lady herself, all hail! Had just released in the US. The Famicom is the same thing, except it's red and white, a little less brutalist droid, and more like a medic from Tron. And all eyes were on the next upgrade, because you can never just hang in a holding pattern with games. No, you want bigger, faster pixels packed so tight they could be worn in the winter. Up until then, Miyamoto and Tezuka put out a maze game for the Famicom called Devil World, where you played a dragon that collects crosses and Bibles. You're like the Pope of Dragons or something. Also, you can crush the devil in his own world. The devil's world. Wacky though it was, at least it was as advertised. They also did Excite Bike, which was not a game where you got to hype up a lazy BMX to get it to go outside so it could piss or something. Yeah! It was a motocross race.
Motocross racer where you had to pivot to land, and then you could go off and build your own track. And they had ramps, moguls, launch, tables. Crazy. Excite Bike. I remember that so much. God, I remember. Thank you, Chad.
Game. But what made it bike-citing was the smooth side-scrolling acceleration action, because the track and the world around you moved faster as you gassed up the bike, making the biking more exciting. Keep up! I had to suffer through your TikTok takes on the new season of Euphoria. You can fucking follow this. Miyamoto and Tezuka took what they had and saved the progress they had made so far, combined the Dragon Pope Devilly Maze tech with the bike-accelerating side-scrollage experience, added a little dash of large boss battles from Kung Fu Master Spartan X on the Street, which was Miyamoto's collab with Takashi Nishiyama. He'd go on to do Street Fighter. Are you paying attention, or did I lose you in 1985? Out of the alchemy came a side-scrolling athletic adventure game with boss battles that accelerated when you ran. The game ran with you, and if you're keeping up with me, then you know that that game was called Super Mario Brothers. So, Miyamoto and Tezuka, the original Mario Brothers, were waiting to see how their latest game was doing, and they didn't have long to wait because it was a hit, it was a world changer, yada yada, whatever. It happened. But what happens next? That's more important of a tale in the story I'm telling. Because the Nintendo, both in America and at home with the Famicom, was about to become legendary. Shigeru Miyamoto and Takashi Tezuka got together and set out on their next big adventure. Because gaming systems are like teenagers. It's never enough! Bigger, faster, hotter looks! The Famicom takes on a floppy disk system. And like anything taking a disc for the first time, it was awkward. A disc drive was connected to the Famicom system, making the whole thing look like two droids were giving goofy piggyback rides, and all the robot villagers were displeased and judgmental of their joy and whimsy. The Famicom disk system kicked up the memory, making it easier to do more things. Which it kind of turns out wasn't really necessary tech, like HD DVDs, mini discs, and the remake of Total Recall and Running Man. I said it. So now, Miyamoto and Tezuka had more tech to make a bigger game. Inspired by the days in his childhood exploring caves with a lantern. Must be nice! Miyamoto wanted to make a dungeon game where players could design their own dungeons and then fight monsters in them. But that didn't work out because it's a game. Don't make me design the damn levels. Don't make me do stuff. That's work. You do it. You make those games, he says sincerely, but that hasn't happened yet. Don't get ahead of me. But there's more to adventures than dungeons. There's forests and deserts and ponds with sexy butterfly people and bars with angry drunks that if you give them a shiny thing, they'll give you a quest. They all got inspired by games like Dragon Slayer for the PC 8801, Ultima, and Tower of Druaga, all of which you can and should Google later. This is my tale now. This is my tale here. Down here, this is my tale. This is my tale down here, Goonies, which had just come out in the theaters at this point in the tale that I'm telling down here. We got the tech, we got the talent. Shigeru Miyamoto's got his wandering boy with the fantasy childhood shit, so I guess it'll get emotional. They teamed up with Kenji Terui from Dragon Ball Z to create an epic story about a traveler who could warp between the past and the future, a bridge between eras, a link, if you will, who traveled the land of Hyrule, named so because, quote, it sounded good, to find a princess named after F. Scott Fitzgerald's wife because she was iconic and pretty, fighting against an evil pig wizard inspired by a Chinese character from the 16th century novel Journey to the West, all in a game that Miyamoto called Adventure.
Yep.
But that name wasn't enough. The story was too big. The journey was too epic. No one had made a side-scrolling adventure like this, so why fucking call it Adventure? Shigeru Miyamoto and Takashi Tezuka sat on the floor of their office, back to back, to create the world on graph paper, because that's how you did it back in the day! And frankly, you should still do that! Because judging by how hard your billionaires are for AI, I don't think you've earned a digital paradise. Fuck your mortal backs and knees, and also fuck AI. It wasn't even too big for cutscenes and the plot explanations in the game, so they had to put all of that in the manual, which wasn't really a thing that they did at the time. Consider this trail ablazing! They enlisted the king of Lovecraftian 8-bit earworms himself, Koji Kondo, who worked with Miyamoto and Tezuka on Mario to come up with some bigger, more epic tunes, complementing not the rhythm of the jumping and the brick smashing and the boop boop with short melodies, but the epic expanse of the environment, the vibe, the mood. At one point, Kondo had to rewrite the entire opening theme because it was originally supposed to be Maurice Ravel's Bolero, which had dropped 38 years previous in 1928. To put this in perspective, that'd be like using Pump Up the Volume Now for GTA 6, which but the copyright had not expired yet on Ravel's Bolero, so they could not use it. And the game got bigger. The idea is more ambitious. At one point, there were enemies that could be killed by yelling into your controller, because the Famicom's second controller had a microphone in it. They were called Pole's Voice. But that idea didn't make it very long because parents buy the games. By now, this game was too big to just be called Adventure. And Miyamoto wanted something legendary. And they figured since you were saving the princess, why not make it all about her fucking princess? And because of the higher computing power, you could name your character. No longer were you Mario by default. You could be you, putting you into the adventure, on the quest, with no direction. Just small goals and big improvements, like Miyamoto's childhood, exploring caves and picking up things along the way, like all of you humans.
But if your name was over 6 characters long, it was only part of your name. So growing up, my character was always Rich R, because I could only put the first 6 letters of my name. Sucked.
Like life! And because life is not fair, there's never enough time. The Famicom's disk systems, new tech gave Miyamoto and Tezuka the ability to do one more thing, essential to survival. You could save your game. And that is the legend of Zelda. Now, is everything in your human experience easily metaphored through a hyperfixation moment on video games? Yes! You think I want to read your books? Have you read Infinite Jest? But take it from the birds, that life is too big and the adventure is too much. So save your progress every way you can. On paper, in sand, on trees, in photos that are totally gonna haunt you. Because life isn't just a game, it's an adventure. And it doesn't just go in one direction. And the goal is not right in front of you, or it's not simple to find. So make it easier for the next player, because it's dangerous to go alone. I love you, good night. Woo!
If you remember, the first thing you do when you start The Legend of Zelda, the original one, is you go up and a little bit over to the left to the first cave. When you enter that cave, the little red wizard, the little red Merlin, with his bald head is standing there. It is dangerous to go alone. Take this. And he gives you the first sword. Everything I said at the beginning of this reaction is 100% true. Really, before Zelda, you couldn't save anything, even on Mario. But when Zelda came out, you could save the progress of the game. And that was changing. But there were limitations. Like I said, the more you played it, the faster the battery would go out. And after about 2 or 3 years, the battery would be gone. And once the battery was gone, you're kind of stuck. You either had to buy the game again, which after a while they stopped selling the game, or you could order the battery from Japan, and it had to be cut and a new one soldered in. So if you didn't have the tools, you couldn't do it. And you had to be careful that when you soldered it in, you didn't short out the board that contained the game. And once you opened the cartridge to replace the battery, the warranty was voided anyway. It's a dark time for the Empire. Anyway, so that's my Legend of Zelda for his Legend of Zelda. And I love this Chad the Bird. I'm sure there's Chad the Bird could probably go on and talk about everything I talked about in this video and do it much better, much more entertaining wise. Anyway, thank you for that. Enjoy that. And for all my original OG Zelda nerds, if you've got that gold case, send me a picture. I'll send you mine back. We'll see you later. Thanks for watching, everybody. And if you enjoyed this video, give us a like. It really helps the channel grow. Also, if you want to subscribe, right over there. A big thank you to all my Patreons out there for everything you do. And if you want more content like this, check them out above. Remember, love one another, take care of each other. We're all stuck on this mud ball together. We'll see you later.